In the first quarter of 2023, Canada's economy faced an unexpected downturn, with GDP growth slowing down significantly compared to previous years. A once thriving economy now grapples with challenges that have left many Canadians concerned about their future. Known for its robust economic framework and high standard of living, Canada is currently navigating through turbulent financial waters. The impact is widespread, from soaring inflation rates to shaky employment markets, and from struggling local businesses to the stressed real estate sector. In this video, we aim to unravel the layers of this complex scenario. We'll explore the root causes of this economic turmoil, understand its multifaceted impacts on everyday Canadians, and discuss the potential strategies being debated for economic recovery. Before we continue, click that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. This channel will keep you updated on the most intriguing videos on economic topics all around the world. As we navigate through the turbulence of Canada's current economic crisis, understanding its roots is crucial. The causes are multifaceted, intertwining domestic policies with global economic tides. Let's start with federal and provincial policies. Historically, Canada's economy has been bolstered by prudent fiscal management. However, recent years have seen a shift. Increased spending, aimed at stimulating the economy, has instead led to burgeoning national debt and inflationary pressures. Provincial policies, varying from one region to another, have also played a part. While some provinces have managed to keep a tight rein on expenditures, others have struggled, leading to a patchwork of economic health across the country. Now consider the heartbeat of Canada's economy, its major sectors. The oil and gas industries, once powerhouses, have been battling not only environmental regulations, but also plummeting global oil prices. This decline has left provinces like Alberta and Newfoundland grappling with significant revenue losses. The technology sector, a beacon of growth, has faced its own challenges. High costs and a competitive global market have slowed its expansion, impacting economic contributions. Real estate, a sector that once seemed invincible, is now a story of boom and bust. Cities like Toronto and Vancouver experienced astronomical price hikes, leading to affordability crises, followed by a market cooldown that has rippled through the economy. Beyond our borders, international factors have left their mark. Trade wars, particularly between major global players, have disrupted supply chains, affecting Canadian exports. Similarly, global economic downturns have reduced demand for Canadian goods, further straining the economy. On a societal level, demographic shifts and immigration patterns have reshaped the economic landscape. While immigration has historically been a driver of growth, recent years have seen a mismatch between skills brought by immigrants and job market needs, leading to unemployment. Consumer behaviors, too, have evolved. The pandemic-induced shift to online shopping and reduced spending on services have altered the traditional retail and service sectors, adding another layer to the economic complexities. In sum, the tapestry of Canada's economic crisis is woven with threads of policy decisions, sectoral challenges, and global influences, all intertwined with the evolving fabric of Canadian society. As we continue to explore these causes, the path to recovery and resilience becomes a puzzle that requires careful piecing together. But to truly grasp the scope of Canada's economic crisis, we need to delve into the hard numbers that paint a vivid picture of the present situation. Starting with the gross domestic product, or GDP, Canada has seen a significant slowdown. GDP growth slowed to 0.8% in the second quarter of 2023, down from 3.3% in the first quarter. This is the slowest pace of growth since the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. The OECD forecasts that Canada's real GDP growth will slow to 1.4% by the end of 2023 and 1.6% in 2024. Inflation, the silent eroder of purchasing power, has reared its head. At a 40-year high, Canada's inflation rate stands at around 3.8% as of September 2023, which surpasses the Bank of Canada's target of 1 to 3%. The bank expects inflation to remain inflated in the near term, but to moderate to around 3% by the end of 2024. On the brighter side, inflation has been gradually decelerating, with a decrease from 4.1% in August. This has been a result of higher interest rates that are helping to ease price pressures. But overall, this means everyday items cost more, from groceries to gasoline, for the average Canadian. Unemployment, often seen as the most direct indicator of economic health, stands at a concerning 5.5% for the third month in a row. The figure has remained below 6% since February 2022. But economists expect the unemployment rate to rise lightly in the coming months as the economy slows. Employment grew notably among adults aged 25 to 54, with increases for both women and men, while there was minimal change for youth aged 15 to 24 and those over 55. Significant job gains were seen in educational services, while there were declines in finance, construction, and cultural sectors. Regionally, employment went up in 6 provinces, particularly in Quebec and British Columbia, but dropped in Alberta and New Brunswick. Over the past year, average hourly wages increased by 5%, and total work hours stayed roughly the same, with a 2.6% increase compared to the previous year. And then there's the national debt. At the end of the 2021 to 2022 fiscal year, the federal government reported a deficit of $1.13 trillion, marking an 8.2% increase from the previous year. A study by the Fraser Institute, a right-wing think tank, noted that Canada's combined provincial and federal debt, adjusted for inflation, doubled from $1.1 trillion to $2.1 trillion between 2007 to 2008 and 2022 to 2023. This increase in national debt predates the COVID-19 pandemic, indicating that the pandemic's associated spending is not the sole cause of the country's debt issues. This perspective is reflected in public opinion as well, with a survey by Ipsos for the Montreal Economic Institute revealing that 55% of Canadians view government spending as excessively high. Despite a federal surplus of $1.5 billion recorded in the first 2 months of the fiscal year, arising from higher revenues from various sources like L premiums and carbon pricing, this surplus is unlikely to significantly impact the substantial $1.1 trillion federal debt. The real estate market, a driver of Canada's recent economic growth, presents a paradox. In metropolitan regions like Vancouver and Toronto, prices soared to record highs, making house affordability a hot-button issue. However, recent cooling measures have slowed sales, raising concerns about a potential bubble. This may be because of a shortage of homes in the country is keeping prices high. But how does Canada's story compare to other similar economies across the globe? Against the UK, whose GDP growth sits at 1.7% and Australia at 2.1%, Canada's economic growth seems muted. Inflation rates too, while high in Canada, find parallels in countries like the UK at 4%. Unemployment paints a more optimistic picture, with Canada faring better than the European average of 8.4%. These comparisons, while enlightening, also remind us that global economies are interconnected, facing shared challenges of supply chain disruptions, post-pandemic recoveries, and geopolitical tensions. How have the Canadian government and financial institutions been responding to this ongoing economic crisis? And what are the pros and cons of these responses? Monetary policy has been at the forefront of Canada's economic defense. The Bank of Canada, in a bold move, slashed interest rates to near-zero levels, aiming to stimulate borrowing and spending. This step, reminiscent of the 2008 financial crisis playbook, has drawn mixed reactions. On one hand, it buoyed the housing market and large corporations. On the other hand, critics argue that it's fueled an unsustainable housing bubble and increased household debt. Tax changes and stimulus packages have also marked the government's responses. A significant reduction in small business taxes was designed to alleviate pressure on the backbone of the Canadian economy. Additionally, the government rolled out substantial stimulus packages, targeting sectors most affected by the crisis. These financial injections have helped many businesses stay afloat and retained jobs, but skeptics question the long-term debt burden these packages impose. In terms of social welfare, the expansion of unemployment benefits has been a lifeline for millions. The government introduced special pandemic-related unemployment programs, offering extended benefits to a broader range of workers, including freelancers and gig workers. While praised for providing immediate relief, some argue that extended benefits may disincentivize the return to work, potentially slowing economic recovery. Business support programs have seen a similar debate. Grants and loan guarantees were provided to help businesses weather the storm, especially those in severely hit sectors like tourism and hospitality. These measures have been hailed as crucial by business owners, yet some economists warn of zombie businesses. Companies kept artificially alive, potentially hindering economic restructuring and growth. The effectiveness of these measures has spurred diverse viewpoints. Proponents argue that without such aggressive interventions, the economic fallout would have been catastrophic. Critics, however, raise concerns about long-term impacts, including inflationary pressures and ballooning national debt. In the face of an economic crisis, the question on everyone's minds is, what does the future hold for Canada's economy? Economists are cautiously optimistic. Most predict a gradual rebound in the next few years. They foresee a slow but steady growth in GDP as global markets stabilize and consumer confidence returns. However, this recovery is not without its challenges, including managing national debt and inflationary pressures. Proposed solutions and strategies are diverse. One school of thought advocates for continued government intervention, extending support to vulnerable sectors and maintaining low interest rates until the economy gains more solid footing. Conversely, other experts suggest a pivot towards innovation and sustainability. Investing in technology, green energy and infrastructure could be key to unlocking long-term growth. This approach not only aims at economic revival, but also positions Canada at the forefront of the emerging global green economy. Policymakers are also contemplating structural reforms, revisions in tax policies, incentivizing domestic manufacturing, and enhancing trade relations are on the table. There's a consensus that a balanced approach, one that spurs growth while keeping an eye on the fiscal responsibility, is crucial. Economists stress the importance of harnessing Canada's demographic advantages. Leveraging immigration to address skill gaps and investing in education to prepare for a technology-driven future are seen as vital steps. On the social front, strategies to enhance workforce participation, especially among women and marginalized communities, are being highlighted. Addressing income inequality and ensuring a fairer distribution of economic gains are part of the broader strategy for a resilient economy. Looking long-term, the outlook for Canada's economy carries a ton of cautious optimism. With its abundant natural resources, skilled workforce, and stable institutions, Canada has the fundamental strengths to rebound and thrive. The road ahead is undoubtedly challenging, but it's paved with opportunity as Canada embraces these strategies, balancing immediate needs with long-term goals. The promise of a stronger, more resilient economy emerges. In this journey, the spirit of innovation, collaboration, and resilience will be Canada's guiding stars. We hope this video gave you a comprehensive understanding of the ongoing economic crisis in Canada. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth global economic content.